up, Crypto Warriors? It's Ultra Crypto back at it again. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of March, 2021. Did you buy the dip? I know I did. All right. So we have Bitcoin that, it took a big dump, dropped down to about, I want to say 54K. It's holding that $1 trillion market cap really, really strong. And I'll look into it in a minute. But as you can see, everything over the past 24 hours has been in the red. We still have up over this past 7 days, some that's in the green, but we're talking about the last 24 hours here. Everything's in the red except for Theta. Theta has been on a tear over the past couple of weeks. I have a small sack of potatoes, Theta, yeah. So I guess can't really go wrong with that. Chainlink. Oh wow, Chainlink is out of the top 10. That's crazy. Look at that. Look, wow, we have a brand new set of top 10s in here. Oh wow, Theta and Uniswap is holding strong in the top 10. But yeah, it goes to show, man. These projects, once they have good news, they pump and pump real hard. And if nothing is really happening with their project, people are they tend to hop on the next hype wave instead of like trying to stick with quality projects. And we see that a lot here in crypto land. So don't just hop from one project to the next thinking that it's the new hype wave and that you're going to get massive gains. All right, if it's a project that you believed in and you've been holding it for a long time and you've been steadily dollar cost averaging, that's one thing. But then to just keep hopping from project to project to project to project, you're really just losing money, especially when you're talking about the transaction fees and the exchange rate fees and all that stuff, right? You're really just losing money in the long run. It may seem like you're making some money there, but in the long run, over a period of months and years, you'll be losing out a lot. All right, so that's why it's good to just stick to a good quality project and just dollar cost average, man, and your day will come. All right, not financial advice, of course. I'm just stating from my own experience. All right, so there you have it. Everything's pretty much in the red over the past 24 hours, except for Theta, who's been pumping and now in the top 10. Crazy. All right, let's get into it. So this is coming from Decrypt. Bitcoin and crypto markets slide as U.S. dollar value climbs. The U.S. economy's accelerating recovery is helping the value of the dollar rise, which is having a negative impact on crypto prices. Now, is it the value of the dollar that's rising, or the fact that they keep pumping those same dollars into the equities market, keep pumping those same dollars and buying bonds, right? And buying corporate bonds and buying government bonds. So is it that the value of the dollar is rising, or you really got to peel back the layers, so to speak, and take a look at what's really happening here, right? I personally don't think that the dollar is, the value of the dollar is rising like this article is stating, that the value of the dollar is rising. Like, come on, I don't think so. All right, but big cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum reported sizable losses. Ethereum liquidity and whale activity hit yearly lows, and improving U.S. dollar is helping the U.S. economy, but hindering Bitcoin's appeal. Again, I'm not buying it. All right, in the short term, maybe, but we have to again take a step back and look at the long-term effects of what they're doing here. Okay, and they're just manipulating our markets and the traditional stock markets and bond markets as well. All right. So Ethereum fared slightly worse, dropping more than 5%. Like a 5% drop, like who cares? This is crypto. We have 30% drops in a day, 50% drops in a day. So a 5% drop is not a big deal. All right. This will probably have something to do with the amount of ETH being held on centralized exchanges reaching a 19-month low, according to analytics company Glassnode. So a drop in price because there's a low on these exchanges and the amount of ETH that they're holding, that doesn't make sense. All right. If anything, it should be a supply shock and the price should be going up. So it shows that there's some manipulation here, and you really can't just read and go off the headlines. You got to dig deeper, like it says, and peel back the layers. All right. So 5% drop in Bitcoin and ETH, not a big deal. Next, OKX Korea crypto exchange shut down as new report and laws take effect. So this could have some effect on the price short term, but as you will see that it really shouldn't. But these kind of news scare people and have an effect on the price short term. The South Korean branch, right? This is just a branch. It's not just the whole exchange. It's not the exchange as a whole, because they have branches in different countries. All right. So the South Korean branch of global cryptocurrency exchange OKX is shutting down operations next month. OKX Korea officially announced Tuesday. Users will have to withdraw their Korean won and crypto holdings by April 7th. After that date, the exchange will not be held liable for any losses arising from the failure to withdraw by customers. Now, this is why you shouldn't keep your cryptos or your funds on an exchange. If you're trading, that's one thing, but to actually keep it there and hold it there like it's a bank, big no-no. All right, you are your own bank. But this is what I wanted to point out here. All right, VASPs. This is the new key phrase that they are throwing around in the crypto space. A VASP. All right, what is a VASP? So what's a VASP? Let's read this. And it's a virtual asset service provider, a VASP. All right, a virtual asset service provider will have to set up real name verification for deposit and withdrawals with an approved South Korean bank. In order to report, each local VASP must apply for a certification with the information security management system. So this is why OKX is like, all right, yeah, we're not going to be playing your games. We're just going to leave the country. All right. And this is why a lot of companies just don't do business here in the state of New York. They don't want to be playing their games of having to get a bit license. All right. They already have a money transmitter license, which is good enough for every other state. So why do they need also another license on top of a license, or more regulations on top of other regulations? This is why they are not playing your games anymore. All right, they're just going to pack up and leave. And who's going to miss out on it? Your customers or your citizens. Okay, so OKEX, they're not playing the games. All right, they're just going to pack up and leave. The South Korean branch that didn't even do that much volume anyway, so it's not like they're going to be missing out on that money. And your citizens are the one that's going to lose out on it. So they're just prepping this. They're just making it hard for the new upstart, so to speak. Although OKX has been around for a while, but in terms of traditional finance, they're just setting it up so that this way the banks could get in and start playing. All right, and making it more difficult for these newer crypto native companies to have a start and have a leg up in this business. So, it's just straight up BS. But let's discuss it again in the comment section. Next, we have coming from Bitcoin.com. All right, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says Bitcoin is a substitute for gold. So they had the talk with the boss of bosses yesterday at right, the BIS, all right, the Bank of International Settlement, which is the Federal Reserve of all the central banks, right? It's a central bank of central banks, all right, the boss of bosses. And they were having this discussion and this talk, and we have Jerome Powell came out, and this is his quote here. It's talking about Bitcoin. It's more a speculative asset. It's essentially a substitute for gold rather than for the dollar. In the short term, yes, it is a substitute for gold, because no one wants to spend it right now. Because if you spend it and buy that $5 or $6 coffee at Starbucks, then 10 years from now, that $5 or $6 would be, it could be $300. Like, you're essentially buying a $300 or even $1,000 worth of a cup of coffee there. All right. So yes, right now in the short term, Bitcoin is a substitute for gold. But in the long term, again, taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture, you're going to see that Bitcoin will eventually become the base layer for a new financial system. Just like how gold is or was the base layer for the financial system back in the day until we separated ourselves from gold. But right now Bitcoin is aiming to become that world reserve currency, just like the dollar is. So it will eventually replace the dollar. And again, everything will be linked in the description below, so that this way you could come and read these articles yourself. Always, always, always do UIOR. All right, next, again, coming from Cointelegraph, Bitcoin searches in Turkey spike 566% after Turkish lira drops 14%. And this is the chart here on Google, right? And we're seeing people are starting to realize that Bitcoin is the only way they could save their wealth. Bitcoin is the only way they can protect themselves from the vicissitude of the central bank. All right, of central banks, inflating or devaluing their currency. All right, Google searches for Bitcoin emanating from Turkey exploded in the past 24 hours after the value of the Turkish lira dropped 14% following the firing of a central bank governor. Like, who cares if a central bank governor or somebody in charge of the central bank gets fired? But it goes to show that these markets are really, 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 really paper thin. And what's happening is he gets fired, the Turkish lira dropping value, and so they're like, all right, well, what else is there? How can I protect myself? And everybody start asking or start searching about Bitcoin, and this is how it starts. This is how the revolution starts. Okay, so yeah, Turkish lira drops in value, Bitcoin searches go up, more people are starting to look into Bitcoin as a way to protect themselves. The price, the day-to-day price, should not matter, and it shouldn't. As long as you are dollar cost averaging into the Bitcoin, it shouldn't matter. All right, because the fundamentals are still there. Bitcoin, the network still works. It's still producing blocks every 10 minutes. It still hasn't been hacked, and the fundamentals are still there. Okay, next. This is coming from Daily Hodl. Rich Dad, Poor Dad author says he's buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. Economy is screwed. Congratulations. If you've been following Robert Kiyosaki, you know that he always talks about protecting yourself and protecting your wealth by buying Bitcoin and gold and silver and that stuff. But now he's adding Ethereum to the mix. All right. So this is a quote coming directly from him. All right. So I'm grateful I have a lot of gold, silver, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and I don't have. Don't get into the argument. Peter Schiff is always arguing about gold and silver, and Max Kaiser arguing back. And I think, why the heck are these guys arguing? Just get as much as you can right now, because the government is screwed. We are screwed. Our whole economy is screwed. We're so deeply in debt. It's like sinking into quicksand, right? And you're arguing about gold, silver, Bitcoin. Just buy some, and I agree with him. We're both on the same team. And for Max Kaiser to be arguing with Peter Schiff, like, who cares? Let him buy up all the gold or whatever. At least he's protecting his wealth from the dollar the way he knows how. And for Peter Schiff to always be trolling on Bitcoin Twitter, talking every time Bitcoin drops, he's always talking shit about Bitcoin. Like, dude, who cares? Hey, you have your gold stash. Congratulations to you. You're getting out of the dollar. Every dollar that you get, you're putting it into gold. Congratulations to you. Get away from the dollar. Yes, that's what you should be preaching. Like, all right, if it's gold, silver, Bitcoin, or now Ethereum, like, who cares? As long as you have a lot of those, that's all that should matter. Okay. I'm not judging Bitcoin. I'm not judging the stupidity of our. I'm judging the stupidity of our government. Being a real estate guy, when I look at how much debt is going to default, the question is, when all those office buildings around San Francisco can't pay their rent, who's going to bail them out? That's why I put my $50,000 bet. That's why I put my $50,000 bet. It was a bet against the economy. It's like I can't read. It was a bet against the economy. It wasn't a bet on Bitcoin, and I'm betting the Federal Reserve is going to print more money, and if they don't print, we're screwed anyway. So either way, they're screwed. If they don't print, we're screwed. And Because not if, when they do print, we're screwed. You as an individual have to be, smart enough to protect yourself and protect your wealth and protect your family by getting into either, if you don't care about, well, if you're watching this channel, you care about crypto, but having gold, silver, and Bitcoin and Ethereum, like these not stable, but these assets that are have their the value denominated in dollars, right, is the best way to go, because the dollar is going to keep going down and these assets are going to keep continue to grow in value. Okay, so this is why the rich keep getting richer. It's not because they're producing more or whatever the case may be. It's because they only own assets. They don't own dollars. They own assets and only assets. All right, and they pass on assets to their heirs. All right, they don't pass on debt. They pass on assets to their heirs. So start owning assets. Next, this is coming from the Daily Hodl again. Charles Hoskinson says Cardano will facilitate one of the greatest wealth transfer in history. Here's how. So this is coming from Charles Hoskinson in one of his videos, that live feed or live broadcast that he does on YouTube, like pretty much every day now, right? And he said, this is a quote directly from him, and I'm thinking to myself, for me, the moment, what happened there? All right, so I'm thinking to myself, for me, the moment I know that Cardano has truly made a difference and changed the world, is if I can open up an application just like I do Kiva at the moment, and I can have direct relationship with someone somewhere in the world who is not doing so well, and who I can give them not as a gift, not as charity, but as but a loan to them, and they pay me back, and I can do that again and again and again and again, and I win more than I lose. To me, that would be successful, or that would be successful Cardano. So what he's talking about is Kiva is an app where you're able to give microloans to people in different parts of the world, to help them start a business, to help them expand their business and things of that nature. And it's not charity, all right. And I agree with him. When you give someone something, right, and they don't pay for it, they don't appreciate it. Okay, but if they have to pay for it, they appreciate it more. So in the case of these micro loans, right, you're helping a lot of women in quote unquote third world countries, to start and expand their business, and they're paying you back. You charge them a small interest and they're paying you back. So this is where he sees the future of Cardano, and that's what he's talking about, the biggest wealth transfer in the world. And when Cardano is able to have these apps, right, where you're able to just open it up on your phone and you're able to do these sort of transactions, right, that's when he knows that Cardano will win, or has won. And I tend to agree with him. But this is not something that's going to happen overnight. This is going to be taken, I think, over the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, maybe faster because of the way how things move right now. But yeah, over the next 5 to 10 years, and we will see. All right. Next. All right, this one is pretty funny. Coinfloor attacked by UK regulators over recent Bitcoin ad. All right, so this is coming from a UK regulator. It's talking about, we told Coinfloor to ensure the future marketing communication made sufficiently clear that the value of investment in Bitcoin was variable and could go down as well as up. That Coinfloor and the Bitcoin market were unregulated, and that they also did not irresponsibly suggest that purchasing Bitcoin represent a secure investment of one's savings or pensions. So I guess they came up with this advertisement where they targeted pensioners and said, hey, you want to save your pension? Invest in Bitcoin, and the price only goes up, right? I tried to find the actual advertisement or the actual ad, and I couldn't find it, but I guess because they had to take it down and they got rid of it. But yeah, they basically told them that they had to take the ad down, and that there's also the bad side of crypto. Like, who cares, right? If you look again, taking a long-term look, Bitcoin has only went up. All right, over 95% of people that's held Bitcoin, all right, is in the profit. So why wouldn't you point these things out to these people that are in jeopardy of losing their pension? Because the governments aren't going to have your back. You have to have your own back. Okay. All right. So the advertisement reportedly suggested that buying Bitcoin was a solid way of investing one's savings or pensions fund. Yes, it is a solid way. It's the only way to go. All right. It's the only way to go. But yeah, let's take a look. All right. Let's take a look here. All right. How the public pension fund crisis will affect everyone. All right. So you just do a quick Google search about pension funds, and you'll see that a lot of articles come up starting from like 2015, 2016, where they're talking about the impending pension crisis, where the governments don't have the money that they promised you. Okay, they don't have the money that they promised you. Even pensions from companies, right? They're in deep doo doo too. Okay, they're in deep shit. They're in deep shit. They don't have the money that they promised because they've been paying out all these other people that's been retiring every single year, and they're living longer. Okay, these people that retire at the age of between 63, 65, or 67, or whatever the case is, right? They're not living 5-10 years after retirement. They're living 20, some cases 30 years after retirement, and they're living well. Okay, they're living well. They're not old and frail like back in the day, right? When you hear retirement, you think of people being old, frail, and living like in a nursing home or something like that, right? No, these people are living well and living well into their 80s, well into their 90s, and living well, still driving, okay, living on their own, being independent. So they are living past, I guess, their expiration date, and these pensions, they can't afford it. So why not get out of that system? Bitcoin is a way out of that system. All right. Next thing here, I Googled real quick. Social Security running out. In 2019, interest covered almost 81 billion of benefit payments, but started in 2021, this year. The interest won't be enough to cover the shortfall. Experts predict the reserves could run out by 2035, at which point Social Security would only be able to pay up about 79% of promised benefits. So again, are they wrong? Is Coinfloor, or a crypto exchange in the UK, are they wrong for trying to show people a better way, show people a new way, and a way to protect themselves by investing in Bitcoin? I don't think so. Let's discuss in the comment section below. I know this is one of my longer videos, but thank you for watching. If you stuck around this, you are a true OG. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for support. It's Sergeant Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.